Every sales process starts with a discovery call. The discovery call happens when your prospect has agreed to hear from you and learn more about your company. You can do it correctly or you can do it incorrectly. On today's show, we're going to break down the 7 must-ask questions and how to properly do them, but more importantly, we're going to share examples of how not to do them. What's up, guys? You're listening to Catapulting Commission Sales Talk with Anthony Garcia. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, let me know your thoughts. Comment and feedback below. Tell me your best discovery question. I'd love to hear it from you. Before we go any further, let's talk about what a discovery question is and isn't. And if you listen to what we're doing today and how we break down the discovery call, you're going to do a really great job on your next sales presentation. My goal at the end of this video is to have you sounding like a bona fide top-tier salespreneur. I don't want you to sound like that guy. Hi, Mr. Jones. I'm Anthony Garcia. Always be closing. Always be closing. I'm here to sell. I'm here to sell. I'm here to make a deal. How can I get you in this deal today? What? What? Listen, if that's what you want to sound like, then you should click off the channel, right? That doesn't work anymore. Are you serious? With today's modern buyer and today's modern consumer, they want to have a respectful conversation. And remember the definition of a sale. Let's be clear here, right? The whole, it's a transfer of enthusiasm and all the other BS templates and sales mantras. No. The best sale takes place when neither person feels like they've been sold. So, a good discovery will set that up. So what is a discovery call and what are discovery questions? It's exactly what it says it is. A discovery call and a discovery question is your opportunity to uncover information about your prospect. Here's the big kicker. You're trying to uncover information about your prospect that isn't readily available online. If your discovery call is asking questions of information you could have uncovered somewhere else, you are blowing an opportunity. And a blown opportunity on a discovery call could lead to you never getting the opportunity to speak to that prospect again. If you sound like him, what? Then I can assure you, you'll have a few discovery calls that people will not respond on the secondary meeting. By effectively executing a discovery call, you will now put yourself in position in the driver's seat. What do you mean by this? Well, I mean this. That guy over there is always going to run with the same mantra, the same style, the same in your face, always be closing. That's dead, all right? When we do effective discovery, we now are positioning ourselves to know how to take the conversation. A good discovery call will tell you what's important to the prospect. A good discovery call will tell you when to ask the right questions. A good discovery call will not even force you to pitch your product because your prospect will be asking more information about it. That's the secret. Be sure to stay to the end of this video because we're going to break down that exact process on instead of me presenting to my prospect asking, and that is executed by a phenomenal discovery call. Let's talk about the 3 fundamentals that make a good discovery question, and then we'll list out the questions after that. A good discovery question is going to be an open-ended question. It seems pretty simple to explain it, but I can't tell you how many times I've observed sales professionals execute a discovery call only to ask a yes or no question, get the answer they don't want, and not know how to pivot or move on from there. So be sure that you ask your prospect an open-ended question. The second type of question you want to ask on a discovery are education-based, meaning you have done your homework before you've arrived to the appointment. We will not ask questions that can be found online. An education-based question tells the prospect you have done your homework. You executed the pre-call plan. You've done enough homework that you deserve the opportunity to sit in front of them. And we'll give you an example of an education-based question shortly. And the third type of discovery question you should ask is a strategic question, meaning one question leads to the next. If you've been following for a while, you'll hear me say the brain thinks linear, right? We go left to right. If we go right to left, we feel uncomfortable. We always want to go in sequence. So if I can ask my questions in a sequential order that I determine and I dictate, I can take my prospect on a journey where they will feel comfortable with saying yes to my service offering at the end of our presentation. So this is huge. This is huge. You want to ensure that your questions follow a sequential order. If you're new to sales, it is okay to have a checklist of saying what I want to uncover step by step by step. That is okay. For the tenured sales professionals, for the tenured entrepreneurs on here, be sure you're always following the fundamental rule. Not what is this question, what is the next question, and the next question, and how am I going to extract the information I need over a series of questions, not just one question. And one of the most important things on the discovery call, don't ask boring questions, right? Your opportunity to shine bright during your discovery is based on the questions you ask. If you ask a boring question, you will lose all credibility. We're going to eliminate the boring questions. Example 1 of a boring question, or a question that will instantly cause you to lose credibility. Credibility is everything. And in the sales process, if you lose credibility on the discovery call, the likelihood of you making a sale is slim to none. So don't ask questions that sound like this. So, Mr. Jones, tell me more about your company and your role. So, what did you say? Man, I hope you don't sound like him. All right, let me get some clarity out of this thing, right? The question, tell me about your company and your role. You might as well have said, I did nothing to prepare for this meeting. I don't deserve your time. Because that's exactly what you just said. Now, I understand. It's important to know who you're speaking to. It's important to know the foundation of the company. All of that's really relevant. But all of that is easily accessible today. When that question was written in the sales books many, many years ago, we did not have Google, YouTube, the internet, LinkedIn. All of this information can be found out in advance. So do your homework. So the same way to ask that question and kick off the discovery call is like this. Mr. Jones, just to ensure we're in alignment, I've seen you have been with XYZ company for nearly 10 years and you oversee the marketing department. May I ask you a question? What are you hoping to uncover from our time together today? Do you see what I just did right there? You see, me saying, may I ask you a question, it's more of a rhetorical question. It was a little head nod to get permission. I validated his background or her background and their experience. If I was wrong, they would interrupt and tell me I was wrong. But since I validated it, I just let them know I've been made aware. And by asking them, what are they hoping to learn from today, right? And you can phrase that in various different ways. We put a video out on how to run an effective discovery call. You can click that link. The video should pop up right here. You can see that video on the channel where we talk about how to set up an effective discovery call. Today we're talking specifically about the questions. But that question is the $1 million question we talk about is, what are you hoping to learn from our time together today? What are you hoping to learn, or what objective are you hoping to uncover? Any question that phrases, what are they hoping to learn with our time together? That's question number 1. So when you ask that question, you have now established credibility. You now have taken control of the conversation because your prospect is now going to tell you what is important to them. And if you can speak to them about what is important to them, then you'll stay in the conversation longer. Now, let's ask the second question. Question number 2. Here is what you're not going to do. Sleazy sales guy, go. What challenges are keeping you up at night? What challenges are keeping you up at night? Look, I gotta be honest. We just met this guy. And now I'm asking him what challenges are keeping him up at night. This is phrased, now sleazy sales guy over there said what challenges are keeping you up at night. This question is disguised. What challenges are keeping you up at night? What problems is your company facing? What's the one thing holding you back from achieving growth this year? However you want to phrase it, right? The bottom line is we're asking the question, what challenges are keeping you up at night? So if we ask that question of what challenges are keeping you up at night, we haven't even established a proper relationship. We barely have any rapport established. Is this question going to be answered authentically? The answer is no. To ask a similar question, to uncover the similar information, question 2 will sound something like this. You'll acknowledge that he just shared what he's hoping to learn from our meeting today. You'll follow it up with this question. Mr. Jones, what prompted you to accept this meeting today? Or, if it's an inbound discovery, meaning they reached out to you first, Mr. Jones, what prompted you to reach out to us today? You see, by me asking why they made the decision to give me their most valuable resource, their time, they are going to tell me what's important to them, but more importantly, they're also going to tell me, they will indirectly share with me what challenges they're having that's forcing them to sit down with me today. That's what happens. It's the same information, I'm just extracting it in a different fashion. If you're a brand new salesperson, you ever seen your sales manager do some like wizard stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. All we're doing is rephrasing the question to make it feel like a natural conversation. Don't be that guy. Are you serious? Sleazy question number 3. Sleazy sales guy, please tell us question number 3. So, Mr. Jones, tell me about your goals. Your goals? What? Do you have a job? It can't be your goals yet. We barely know each other. This is on the borderline of sleazy salesman mentality. It's building an inauthentic relationship. I don't care about your goals. So why am I going to ask you about your goals? It's because I want to sell you something, right? But right now you're asking about my goals. You barely know me. Let's keep the conversation flowing in the direction we want, that's based on value, that's going to have me and you feeling like we're best friends when we're done, not like a forced relationship in the beginning. Question number 3, in the catapult and commissions way. We have just found out what they're hoping to learn. We have just uncovered why did they decide to take action now by having this meeting, and they typically at this point have shared a problem. So instead of telling me their goals, I want to know more about the problem. So, question 3, super simple. Can you tell me a little more about XYZ? XYZ, 9 out of 10 times they will have listed a problem. I'm going to ask them, can you tell me more about the problem? If they happen to not list a direct problem, then I'm going to ask for more information on why they agreed to have this meeting. Can you tell me more on why specifically today you agreed to have this meeting? Is there something going on? Right? I'm going to pull back and start asking those questions. Okay? So I want to find out how this problem is impacting them. So for the rest of this call, we're going to assume they're the 9 out of 10 people that shared a problem with us. We want to find out a little more details about that problem. Now that they've shared this problem, this is super important in the discovery. Once they share this problem with you, it's time to acknowledge it and engage in dialogue. Like, have a conversation. A good discovery call should be 30 to 40 minutes. We're sharing 7 questions to ask. Do the math, right? This should be a conversation and a dialogue. So now they share that problem with you. We have to ask the next question, right? So we're having this dialogue. Here's an example of what you don't want to ask. Sleazy sales guy, take it away. Now, what's keeping you from achieving those goals?
Oh my God! Wow!
Man, that guy's good. When he shares with you what's keeping you from achieving these goals, again, these are very direct questions, which is fine. They're a little challenging, which at times is appropriate. But in a discovery call, my job right now is to build trust between you and me. And I'm going to build trust by telling you I'm listening to you, I'm acknowledging you, and you have the confidence that I know what the hell I'm talking about. Fine. If I'm only asking this question and I'm trying to extract this information from you without having an authentic, engaging dialogue, you're not going to give me an authentic, engaging answer. Eliminate that question from your tool belt. So instead of asking what is stopping you from achieving these goals, I do want that information, but we're going to rephrase it. Just to clarify, Mr. Jones, you just said X, Y, Z. I'm going to list back the problem and the impact he's having at this point. So I've listed the problem back. I've told him indirectly, I'm acknowledging the problem you have is real. I hear you, buddy. I'm in the game with you. I'm listening. So after I clarify back to him, I'm going to ask him a simple question. How is this impacting you and your business? You see that question right there? I even changed the tone in my voice. How is this impacting you and your business? You see, the reason I ask that question on how it's impacting you and your business is because you are going to tell me what's preventing you from achieving it. You're also going to tell me what's causing you to lose sleep. You're also going to tell me the pain points that are important. You're also going to tell me everything else I need to know to deliver a wonderful solution at the end of this call. It's the same information, I'm extracting it, but in the fashion we're teaching it, it's designed so your prospect feels comfortable sharing more information. As I ask my prospect, how does this impact them or their business? When I ask them that, it is natural to me, it's natural to them that they're going to divulge a lot of information. It comes across incredibly authentic. Try it, and when you do, come back on the video, comment below, tell me how it works out for you. The next question we have to ask is question 5. So if you're following the traditional methodology of discovery questions, you're going to ask something along the lines of what happens if you don't fix this, right? Matter of fact, let's get an example. What happens if your problem goes unresolved? Man, that guy's good.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
He's the reason I got a job. Anyhow, by asking in the earlier question how this is impacting them, they are naturally going to have a dialogue with me that if they don't fix the issue, what is going to happen to them? So for me to turn around and ask, what happens if you don't resolve this issue, is borderline insulting. Do not ask that question. Extract that information. Do you see the difference? Don't ask that question, extract the information. Because when you ask that question, again, you're creating an opportunity for friction or challenge. That doesn't do well with today's modern consumer. But I can't extract that information. And so in order to extract that information, I had a previous question. How's it impacting you and your business? I want to keep this conversation going. So question 5 in the discovery process is this. I'm going to reiterate their concern back to them, acknowledging that I heard the problem. I'm going to reiterate that concern, acknowledge I heard the problem, because I did such a good job at having them explain to me how it's impacting them that we both already know what will happen if they don't fix the issue. What we don't know yet at this time, and I want to find out the urgency that they want to solve this issue, is this information. And that question is this: what is your timeline for fixing this issue? That's it. What is your timeline for fixing this issue? That information is important because when they share with me their timeline, they're telling me right then and there, this is my opportunity to future pace this revenue. Is the timeline short? Is the timeline long? If the timeline is long, I now know I haven't done a good enough job in my discovery for this prospect to tell me the pain they're experiencing. I make a mental note and we're going to circle back on that. I also know that if they have a short window to fix this, this is of high urgency and they're looking to move fast. That is a very comfortable and natural question to ask at this stage of the discovery. We have built a relationship off listening and an authentic engagement, not on sleazy sales questions. But we still have a few more questions to go because we are breaking down the 7 top discovery questions so you don't sound like that guy. Wait, what do you mean? The next question, the 6th question, is going to be the question we all have heard before. I guarantee you at this point in time, you've heard this question. I would even guess you've asked this question. Let's hear it from my buddy over here. Who is involved in the decision-making process? He always delivers. Who is involved in the decision-making process? Mr. Jones. When you say that, you're pretty much asking, are you the person that's gonna make a decision to give me, so I can take your money? Are you the one giving me the credit card? Are you the one signing the contract? However you want to phrase it, you're asking, it's almost a non-aggressive trial close. Always be closed. I understand it. We need to extract the information. Remember, you can ask the question or you can extract the information. In that question right there, you're asking the question. You are not being a consultant. You're being a sales rep. Let's get the same information out by being a consultant. Here we go. Can you share with me what factors are important in selecting your solution? Remember we said a discovery question leads to more questions? By asking that question right there, they're going to list the things that are of importance to them, and they will list the things that are of importance to somebody who's not there. The follow-up question to that, whatever they list, great. Is this information also important to everybody making this decision? Boom! I extracted the same information. Literally found out who was on the decision-making process, but now I found out what's important to the decision-making process. If you're in B2B or in enterprise sales or have these complex, you run across value analysis committees, you run across purchasing teams. There's multiple people involved. Uncover this information in a strategic fashion, not an aggressive fashion. Now, the final question, and this is the final question of the discovery call that we're discussing today, and the final question that I'm sure many of you have said. Matter of fact, confession, I've said this question myself. And the only reason I know this question doesn't work is because I've said it myself and I've seen people fail at it miserably. The reason this question doesn't work is it again puts tension in the discovery call. It's asking a question, not extracting information. It is forcing a decision as opposed to allowing your prospect to think the decision was their own. Mr. Salesperson, I appreciate the help you've done with us this far. Can you please share us your final question on discovery? So, if we can find a solution that fits, what will it take to earn your business today? What?
Oh!
Did he just say that? Have you said that? Let me know in the comments. Did you say, if we can find a solution for you, what will it take to earn your business? Holy crap.
No! God, please, no! No!
All right, guys, let's be honest here. That line worked in Glengarry Glen Ross. That line worked in Boiler Room. That line worked in The Wolf of Wall Street. That line doesn't work with today's consumer, being honest here. So let's talk about how we get that same information. We want our prospect to tell us why they want to work with us. We want them to ask us to solve the problem for them. If we've done a good discovery, there is a clear problem that exists. The best sale takes place when no one feels like they've been sold to. So how do we get them to tell us they want to work with us? Here's the question. Mr. Jones, thank you for sharing that information. Clearly, we would love to work with you. What do you recommend I share with you first? Boom! Now, I know, it's scary, right? I literally just gave control of the discovery call to the prospect. They're gonna say something like, give me pricing, give me this, give me that. The reason I tell them what to share with you first is it just has told me the most important thing they're looking for the rest of this call. From that point forward, I go into presentation mode and I present my solution. It doesn't say, if I give you a solution, will you pick us, right? It doesn't give this cheesy sales close from the 1980s. It allows this prospect to feel like they've won some conversations. It allows this prospect to feel like they've had an engaging conversation with a sales professional who listens, who's authentic, who's engaging. You don't want to be the ABC guy like him. Are you serious? You want to ensure that your discovery call does exactly what you intend it to do. Extract information, build an authentic relationship, and have your prospect asking you how to solve their problem. Guys, do me a favor. If you found value in today's video, like, subscribe, comment, let me know your thoughts. I read each and every comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Take 3, sorry. Alexa, stop. Bastard, what time is it? He's the reason I got a job. Anyhow, so, question 5. I am having way too much fun.